everybody. Welcome in. My name is Jessica M. Harris here, and we are back with an episode, you guys. We are live on Facebook. Oh my goodness. So I hope you guys are doing well today. Just wanted to come on live this afternoon and say, hey, listen, to those of y'all who have been paying attention to the calendar, we are literally just coming over that halfway mark of this month, you guys. And not only that, but we're literally at the end, of this year, of this season. We're embarking on a brand new season, literally, right? Because we're going from fall into winter. We're also going from December into January. You guys, there's so many things happening all at one time, which is beyond amazing. Also, for those of you who are also catching the links popping up about the class that started on 12/12, I want you to also know that another Redefine Her class is going to be starting off in January the 16th. You're more than welcome to use that same link because the information will remain the same for right now, and I'll update the date on there later. It's still a 30-day transformation, so I'm really pumped about that. But let's get into today's conversation. Today, we're going to be talking about really just getting into the habit of shifting the way that you do things, especially when you're at the last leg of the race. I don't know what it is about being at the last leg of the race, but sometimes I feel like it causes people to do one of two things. One, it either causes a person to kind of feel, I want to say almost like defeated, or kind of feeling like, I don't really have to put too much energy to it. We're already at the end. It's already almost over. Why do I have to keep going? Why do I have to keep putting my all into this? It's just going to restart, in a matter of weeks. Things are just going to change, starting next month. Why don't I just wait till then to do it? And why don't I take the time off now to not really do much of anything, right? So that's one person's perspective. And then we have the other perspective that looks at the situation as this. It's game time. It's go time. I'm gonna push these last few weeks that I have. I'm going to go the time that I do have at this point, right? And I'm going to go forth. I'm going to go forward, and I'm going to put all gas, no brakes, because I know that where I'm at right now is positioning me for the next level. I know that where I'm at right now isn't where I plan on being come next month, come next year. Where I'm at right now is going to be different. So in order for me to be able to position myself or my mindset to see things from that perspective, right? I'm gonna have to push. I'm gonna have to come away from the mindset of, oh, I'll do it next time. Oh, I'll do it next year. Instead, I have to get my mind to focus on the fact that because there's these you want to be taking in things from where you are right now and understanding this, that as you move forward, which person do you want to be today? Which version of yourself are you leaving behind in 2024? And which version of yourself are you picking up into 2025? Y'all, if you see my green tongue, it's earheads. Apparently, there was more than enough dye for it to stick this time. Anyways, I'm mentioning that part because we have to literally, in a sense, consciously, right, make the effort to understand, who am I choosing to be? What am I choosing to do? Who am I choosing to become in this season? Who am I choosing to become in this hour? Who am I choosing to walk as? Am I choosing to walk as someone who's feeling defeated? Or am I choosing to walk as someone that is going to make the progress towards success? We have 2.5 weeks left, 2 weeks left roughly, give or take, right? Depending on how you view this month. So what are you choosing to do? Are you sitting at home? Are you planning out your life? Are you getting the things in order? Or are you simply saying, vacation time is here, I'm done, it's a wrap? Now, hear me when I tell you, I used to think that way. I'm going to be honest. Right? I remember being in high school. I remember it being my senior year. I remember when sign out day was approaching, and I was like, yo, we already got to I think it was January mark that we got to. And in my mind, my year, I have done My expectations have been met, right? My applications for college have already been submitted. And I was like, yo, I'm physically showing up to class, but mentally I was like checked out. Why? Because it was my senior year. I didn't feel as though I had to keep putting in all this extra effort the way that I had been before. It felt like at this point, yo, I could just take my foot off the gas and relax. But that was the wrong way to look at things. The right way to look at things is what I ended up doing, was putting my foot to the gas pedal and doing more. For me, I took on more extracurricular activities. I took on more volunteering activities. I took on more hours at work. I took on more staying after school, doing extra credit and assignments, right? Because I realized that although I wanted to be on cruise control, there was still more that I could do with the time that I had. Right? I had January, I had February, I had March, I had April, I had May, I had June, right? Because June was when we was going to walk the stage, but sign out was in May. I still had time left. So although I probably thought subconsciously that I was all set and I was good to go, the reality was that there was too much time there to be wasted. And I want to reiterate that fact to you today. You may be looking at the calendar like, yo, it's the 16th. What can I honestly do in 2 weeks? It's the 16th. What can I honestly do in a month? It's the 16th. What can I honestly accomplish in the next 72 hours? And the reality is a lot. You can accomplish a lot of things if you set your mind to it. If you begin to write out the plans, if you begin to set the pieces in motion, if you begin to acknowledge the fact of where you are right now and where you want to be and begin to outline those areas. You see, oftentimes we don't do a thing because we can't see a thing. But I look at it like this. How can you see something you haven't taken the time to actually write down? How can you see something that you haven't actually articulated? How can you see something that you haven't actually tried to form? Right? Sometimes we're trying to obtain this thing, this item, this idea, but the reality is that we don't have a concept really in mind. We may have an idea, we may have a thought about it, but we don't have anything that's tangible because we haven't taken the time to take the idea, which is the thought in our imagination, and finally giving it some type of shape and form as we write it down. We have to understand the power in our words and our thoughts and the power in writing it down so we can exercise our faith to watch it actually begin to grow and begin to move. We have to begin doing those things and adding the pieces together to that puzzle so that we can begin to see it begin making the shape, that form, the body movements, the pieces, right? I think about a puzzle piece. You begin to see the movement and the pieces of the puzzle when it comes to like the waves, or when it comes to the wind, or when it comes to the grass, or when it comes, to the trees and stuff like that. You begin to see the movement and the body of that picture because now there's more pieces that are filling it up. But when you don't have those pieces, it's a bit difficult to really get an idea of, well, what is this picture actually going to become? What is this picture supposed to actually be by the end of it? What is it that I'm actually working on building? Am I building out a polar bear, or am I building out a mouse? Am I building out, a lion, or am I building out a desk? Like, what is the actual picture that I'm aiming to create here? So we have to be intentional about the ways in which we choose to do things and how we sit down to prepare for them as well. That being said, I have a treat for you guys. Yes! So I'm really excited because these were delayed by a week. They were supposed to come last Monday, and as we would have it, the season and the month and whatever's been going on in this country, right? Delays took place with delivery, so I didn't get my planners last week, but they did come, and I am very excited to show you guys the She Did It planner, y'all, live in the flesh. Look at those, you guys. They are amazing. So the She Did It planner, these are 100% undated, which means that you have the ability to start anytime, right? Meaning that you can get the planner today and start it in February. You can get the planner today and start it right now as we get ready to go into the new year. And the bonus part of that, at least the way that I see it as, is that it also gives you weekly reminders to make sure you're implementing self-care into your routine and into your schedule. Now, that was something I did intentionally because as you're somebody who is setting up goals and setting up pieces and, you're building bridges to fill up the gaps in your life and all these other things, oftentimes you're doing so much busy work that you're forgetting to take care of you in the process. I have learned from experience, y'all, the hard way, that it is very difficult to pour from an empty cup. So I wanted this planner to not only motivate you to do the things and complete the tasks that you have assigned, right? Weekly, whether it's, prioritizing family, prioritizing marriage, prioritizing your business, prioritizing your job, whatever the case may be, right? Whatever God got you doing in this season. I didn't want it to just be you focusing on that only, but also remembering to do that self-check with yourself, to make sure that you're also doing that maintenance check with yourself. Because like I mentioned, I could be in that season of go, 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 go. But if I'm not taking time to make sure the gas is filled, if I'm not taking time to make sure the oil is there, if I'm not taking time to make sure, all the systems are doing check, 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 I'll be running on the E before I know it. And then y'all, it really will be a hard rock situation. I'm just saying. Think about the ways in which you treat your vehicle. You don't just drive your vehicle nonstop without giving it an opportunity to finally let it rest. You don't ride your car rampant until the point where it has no gas. You don't do all these things without actually taking the time to do, the meticulous care of washing it and making sure it's okay and that it has its fluids and that it has this and it has that. Like, y'all, we want to make sure that we making lemonade with these lemons, y'all. Not the bitter type, but that bittersweet type, right? It looks a bit rough. It seems a bit sour at the beginning because it's all this go, 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 go. But then we get to that sweet spot where we learn how to also implement ways to take care of us at the same time. That's what we're looking towards. That's what we're going for. That's how we're progressing in our day-to-day lives each and every single week. And for me, that's how I see this planner, as your tool to help you along that way, because it's allowing you the opportunity to do exactly that and more. And not only is it giving you different reminders for self-care, it's also keeping you accountable, right? I know for me that if it's something that I've always said it, right? If it's not written down, it doesn't exist. I used to say that about appointments, meetings all the time from when I was younger, y'all. If it ain't written down, it doesn't exist to me. Why? Because if it was important, I would have written it down. So allow this planner to serve as your tool, to serve as your reminder, to serve as an accountability partner in a sense for you as well. That as you're going forth in this next season, in this next month, in this next year, right? So many nexts and news and all these beautiful pieces, right? As you go forth, allow this to be the very thing that you're utilizing daily and weekly and monthly so you can see what it is, like I mentioned earlier, that you're building. Because you're going to need to see it. You're going to need to have it in front of you. You're going to want to have that weekly reminder of what it is that you're doing and why you're doing that. And that's a different conversation, but I needed you to understand the value of what it is that you're carrying and why it's too important for you to sit there and just be like, I don't feel like doing it. Instead, to shift your mindset and say, I'm going to push because it's time. I remember someone said before that push stands for pray until something happens. Y'all, it may be a duality to this, right? Push forth because you're physically needing to push through, but also whatever it is that you're looking for God to do, continue to pray until something happens. So that is it for today's video, at least for right now. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you. Y'all, don't forget to grab your planner. Also, if you missed out on our Redefine Her program for the month of December, that's okay because we're launching another cohort for this coming January, and I'm really pumped about that. So that is starting on January the 16th. You're more than welcome to use the link that's already there. Everything is up to date. It will be 30 days starting from January the 16th for that program. The details from there will be updated, but you can definitely use the link to go ahead and register today to save your spot. So save your spot from now. Don't miss out on these details. So much is going down. I'm pumped. I'm excited, and I hope you are too. Peace and blessings, and have an amazing day.